so I remember back in the day, I'd always see headlines of federal law enforcement officers investigating universities for players getting paid under the table. And at that time, I thought how backwards that was, how law enforcement officials were keeping players from getting paid for the revenue that they were creating on behalf of the universities. So in my mind, I think the whole thing has been completely backwards, bizarre. So a settlement just got approved where the NCAA agreed to pay out a $2.8 billion settlement to players that had played all the way back to 2016. And the lawsuit regarded antitrust, and antitrust is essentially monopoly, saying that, hey, this is a monopoly, and it went to broadcasting rights. And so what they agreed to is that, hey, we're going to pay some back pay $2.8 billion to players that played all the way to 2016. And then also moving forward, players are going to be able to, if schools decide to opt in, so there just can't be a rule across the board where schools can or can't get revenue. So if school decides to opt in, then they have to pay their players revenue, either, I can't remember the details, like 22% or $20.5 million that they have to pay players as well in broadcasting revenue, but also ticket revenue and other types of revenue. So I think in my mind that's a big step moving forward. I've heard back in the day, way back in social media, people saying that, oh well, they're getting compensated, they're getting a scholarship, they get all these free clothes, they get free dinner, travel. No, like that doesn't compensate someone for all the revenue that they're actually bringing in, and we're learning now with these NIL deals, and I thought that was crazy too, is you couldn't even sign your own autograph and make money off it back in the day. That was completely backwards in my mind. But now you're able to sign brand deals, you're able to make your money off your own name and likeness, and we're seeing how much money these college players are making, and they're making way more than they could under a rookie contract, either in the NBA or in the NFL. So the market talks, and so it definitely shows that, yeah, a scholarship really is a drop in the bucket, slap in the face for what these players are bringing in for these colleges. So I think it's a big step forward. Also, there's still a question on whether or not these players are actually employees and whether or not they should get paid as employees. There's still lawsuits pending to that matter. But if they get some revenue sharing, then that will help alleviate the issue as to proper compensation for the amount of time they have to spend. Also, the settlement deal makes it so NCAA, there's no cap on scholarships, and then schools can still opt in and opt out on whether or not they can offer scholarships, but there's not a limited amount of scholarships. So if they want to do scholarships for all players, they can do that. I mean, a lot of people, I know a lot of you out there are saying, well, it's ruining the brand. It's going to make, these power schools, and it's just going to be a big money game on who has the most money on who's going to win or lose. And yeah, I mean, there's the competitive aspect, there's the money aspect, but I mean, it was too hard on the competitive aspect, and it has to go this way. It's a business too, and these players need to be compensated. It really wasn't fair. I mean, there's no, especially in football, there's no in between league with college and the NFL, and also the life expectancy of an NFL player is very low, and really a lot of them are in their prime in their college years, and a lot of them are rock stars in their college years and are national icons, national media, but somehow they don't get compensated. So I think this is the right move. I think this is the way it has to go. I mean, it will create these big money powerhouses, and it's just, it is what it is. But you got to compensate these guys, and they should be able to make money off their talent, off their name, off their likeness. There shouldn't be all these closed doors. There shouldn't be federal investigation. So this is the right step, and it is what it is, and it'll get worked out down the road.